this interview, we're having a look at what is here. And within and throughout the material of Destiny, this is a statement that is quite often mentioned and made and placed into context of the writings and the videos in how we're walking through existence as ourselves, both within and without, where, for example, we show or mention or express the point of being here with your human physical body, with your breathing, with walking, your writing, with applying your self-forgiveness. You've got to be here. And then within the context of being here, in walking here in this world and in this reality. Now we're going to have a look at what is those contexts of here, in what it is that here in fact is within the context of where we are within process. So at the moment, here within the context of where we are now in process is to stand equal to and one with everything that's here in this world, as this world, within ourselves, as ourselves. Here, to be here, is to be equal to and one with your thoughts, your reactions, your personalities, your mind consciousness system, your human physical body. So one's process of here, as always, starts with self as a starting point. So you've got to assist and support yourself to be here with yourself, which means to be equal to and one with the self that is here, that is currently existing, functioning, acting, behaving, and speaking, and everything in its totality that is within and behind and as that. So your process of walking, your writing, your self-forgiveness, your self-corrective application is your process of assisting and supporting yourself to be here with yourself as what you are currently existing, because we have to get ourselves here into and as that equality and oneness to in fact be able to change ourselves, and thus change the here that is currently here as ourselves, as this world, as everything and everyone within and as it. So the initial first step of here is to be here with and as what is here, as it is existing in this very moment. It is the process of one's equality and oneness with what is here, as it exists in this very moment. And that here is, for example, how we're now existing as a mind consciousness system, how the world system is functioning within the money system, the consequences and outflows, habits, patterns, behaviors within ourselves, our mind, and our world, and then the manifested consequences and outflows of how the world system within the money system and humanity as a whole is currently functioning and existing and surviving. So this is a point that we have mentioned frequently within interviews and writings, is the point that we cannot in any way stop and change or transform what is here, which is how everything and everyone is currently existing, without in fact being equal to and one with it, which is the process of understanding it, getting to know it, and seeing it in how it came to be or developed or manifested into existence, because there's no way we are able to stop, change, or transform anything if we're not in fact it, meaning if we don't know the exact detailed specifications of the ins and outs of the total system. Because at the moment, how we're existing within ourselves, within our mind consciousness system, we've got no idea, no reference, no background of how it in fact is that we're existing as our thoughts, our reactions, personalities, conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind. And therefore, if one is simply going to chase after miracles, solutions, saviors, rescuers, suppressants, suicide, I mean, various ways that we try and run away and hide and abdicate responsibility of what's happening within ourselves, that's obviously not going to make any difference or change or stop or transformation within what is going on inside ourselves. The only way to face it is to be here with it, meaning be equal to and one with what is happening, what is manifesting, what is coming up, what is being experienced within ourselves. We have for so long throughout our existence as individuals and as humanity as a whole been chasing after, searching for, and looking at answers outside of ourselves, and even going so far as to create alternate answers outside ourselves, such as religions, spiritualities, organizations, charities, in finding and searching for the experiences that we're having within ourselves, instead of realizing the simplicity of breathing, being here with ourselves, questioning what is happening within ourselves, in finding out how it is that we're functioning and existing as a mind consciousness system, and everything that forms part of it, as our thoughts, our reactions, our personalities. So this process of here starts with self being equal to and one with one's thoughts, one's reactions, one's mind consciousness system, one's personality, one's behaviors, one's patterns, one's living. Equal to and one with means where you actually start writing out your process, in the process of writing yourself to freedom, where you are within that very moment of writing out what it is that you're facing inside yourself. You're in your process of placing each word, each sentence, standing equal to and one with that part of yourself, because as you're writing, you're in that very process starting to see yourself as that point you're facing inside yourself. So the very act of writing yourself to freedom, of writing what it is that you're facing inside yourself, is that very practical process of standing and being equal to and one with yourself in what it is that you're busy writing out and expressing and facing within yourself as your mind consciousness system. And that equality and oneness can be referenced by, as you're writing and you're starting to have realizations of, oh my God, this is what I've been doing in facing and walking and accepting and allowing myself to be this point. And oh my God, what have I done? Or shit, is this really what I've been doing? You know, it's like real realizations where you start seeing yourself as what it is you've become as your mind. And then within those realizations, you do your self-forgivenesses in assisting and supporting yourself to become equal to and one with self, where you start releasing those relationships that you have manifested in separation of yourself as the system. You've now become equal to and one within your writing, and now through self-forgiveness, you've become equal to and one with the self that is meshed, mingled, separated, and networked into this whole mind consciousness system. And then your process of practical application is your process of being equal to and one with the human physical body. So writing, self-forgiveness, and self-corrective application is, in fact, the only tools that will assist and support you with walking itself honestly, that will facilitate your process of first becoming equal to and one with the here, that you are now existing as your mind consciousness system. There is no shortcuts. You've got to walk it practically step by step by step, because I mean, if I were you, I would assist and support myself with absolute specificity, precision, detail, and discipline in really getting to know how it is that I'm functioning, how it is that I'm existing, in how these things are just coming up automatically inside me. And, you know, I would like to know where this stuff is coming from, so that I don't one day find myself in a situation that has accumulated a pre-programming within myself and manifests into a possession or a takeover or a control to such an extent that led me to a consequence that I know I could have stopped or not accepted and allowed myself to create and manifest, but half-assed or search for shortcuts or alternate solutions to a process that is in fact my self-responsibility, because it is me. And therefore the process of walking consequence in one's physical world or reality and experience within our life is a process of becoming equal to and one with one's mind consciousness system, with the here of this existence, this physical reality, this world, and humanity as a whole. So one is either going to assist and support oneself in walking consequence within the context of a self-corrective principle of walking oneself through writing, self-forgiveness, and self-corrective application, or you're going to walk it out in your physical reality through physical experienced consequences, where events, situations, people, moments are going to manifest in your reality. That's going to be your mirror reflection, and it's going to take you to actions, to words, to experiences where you will know what you have done and your responsibility within it. So we suggest rather take that point of self-responsibility and walk one's process for self in making a decision here with breath. Take a breath, breathe out, and take that point of self-responsibility in getting and being and becoming and living with and as here, as what it is you're existing as your mind, as what it is this world, this reality has become. And then it is within the context of the world, of humanity, of other human beings. We've got to get to and be here with and as this world and this existence. You've got to get to know how it is that it functions, operates, works, what was its origins, its starting points, who was involved, why, what is the purpose, what is the reason. You've got to get to know how this world system within the money system and humanity as a whole is operating and functioning and living within the acceptances and allowances of what is here. To be able to change what is here, we've got to first get to the here as the here currently exists within ourselves, as ourselves, within this world, as this world, to be able to, in fact, change, stop, and transform it into a here that is within the starting point principle of what's best for all within equality and oneness. So getting to here within the world system, within this earth, this existence is your process of educating yourself in terms of finding out how this world in fact functions. Getting to know how money works, how education works, how religions work. Getting into the basic systems that human beings operate and investigate their context within reflecting it back to self. I mean, if you get to know how these systems work and relate it back into yourself and your own world, you'll see and find the acceptances and allowances of functioning within systems that we in fact do not understand as ourselves, and how the consequences of those very systems we've been ignoring, we've been abdicating responsibility of and from, and simply blinded ourselves deliberately because we have been tacitly placing our very trust in the very systems that we're not understanding as ourselves, because we're simply following, accepting, and allowing. We're not going and taking that step of seeing beyond the veil of the mind. To get here, to see what is here, you've got to see and look and educate yourself and walk through your own conscious mind, and then your knowledge and information you currently have of the world system. You've got to expand yourself in being equal to and one with here, within yourself and the world as a whole. In and through that, your eyes, yourself, will start opening more and more and more to seeing, realizing, and understanding how the very systems you've simply followed, accepted, and allowed and trusted, through not understanding it, through not investigating it, through not in fact considering the positioning, the functioning, and the existence of those systems within the context of what's best for all, you will start realizing more and more what is here and how this here is really fucked up. So assist and support yourself within your self process and all's process in walking oneself through one's mind consciousness system, getting here equal to and one with oneself, changing the here that is within self first, and then participating within the getting to here of oneself as the world system, and getting to know how this world really functions. I mean, if there's a particular field of interest that you have, like for example money, law, politics, medicine, get yourself then into walking that particular system. Commit yourself to getting to know how that's functioning, what's behind it, what's within it, who is it, why is it working that way, why is not everyone equally benefiting from what is existing within this world at the moment, and what is the consequence of that, so that within that one can present and stand as the obvious solution that does stand within the context of what's best for all, which is equal money. And within that we have the Desteniiprocess that assists and support oneself in this very process of being here equal to and one with oneself, as what one is existing as the total mind consciousness system, and at the same time multidimensionally walking your process of asserting your change of your here into a self-directive principle of what's best for all, equal and one. And you're guided with a buddy to walk you really specifically through the very structure, design, substance, starting points, networks, relationships in your total mind consciousness system, in how it is that you've come to be who you are, why it is that you function within the detail and the specificity of the programming of your thought and your reactions. Where do they come from? Why do they exist? How did you create it? How did you accept and allow it? And what was the consequences of that throughout your life? You get a complete overall overview perspective of how it is that you've come to be in this very moment as the totality of yourself, and will make sense, thus, your total life experience of why it is the way it was. And within that, we have the equal money system, where you can start participating in opening your eyes to see beyond the veil of only your conscious mind and your trust in the systems, within the context of simply accepting, allowing, and following, and start seeing, educating, and learning yourself into getting into and as the here of the world and self, so that we can in fact do a change, a stop, and a transformation to ourselves, each other, and the world as a whole. So understand thus here is to first get here with and as what is here as ourselves and the world. There is no miracle solution in terms of this miraculous equality and oneness here that is already here. No, we've got to live that here into and as ourselves and this world as a whole and existence in its entirety. So the year of equality and oneness is what is walked by and through us, with first starting being equal to and one with what is already here, and within what being equal to and one with what is already here, we change the here as ourselves into and as the starting point principle of equality and oneness. Okay, that's it for this interview. Thank you very much.